everyone, and welcome back to our online vocal studio. My name is Natalia. I'm an opera singer, vocal instructor, and music educator. And if you want to get every single week your free tips of how to become a better singer and performer, you should subscribe right now because you're going to get every single week a notice, and hopefully I'm going to see you every single week. So if you want to learn how to be a better singer using Alexander technique, please keep on watching. Today we're going to talk about Alexander technique, something that really truly inspired me and helped me a lot as a performer. I still use it in my vocal studio with my students, and just as a person, it really teaches you how to maximize and use your body correctly to really be more efficient with no use of pressure. Okay, so first of all, what is Alexander technique? Alexander technique was developed by F.M. Alexander, who was an actor in the 1890s, and he really developed this special technique by self-observing himself after he found out he was losing his voice, and going to doctors really didn't help him because what are they gonna say? Oh, rest your voice. And he did, but it came back. His voice was losing every single time, and he really understood that there's no really out there a solution for him. So he created a solution for himself, which I really find inspiring, right? So the way he did it, he put around him a lot of mirrors and just self-observing himself by sitting on a chair. And he really started to look for patterns in the way he was speaking, in the way he was sitting, in the way he was standing, in the way he was walking, that he's not using his body correctly, that caused the loss of his voice. Now, when we think about that as per people, we tend to walk not correctly, we tend to sit not correctly, we tend not to walk standing up from a chair correctly, and all those things are sums up and creating pressure in our body, right? For some people, back pains could be, or neck pains, or shoulder pains, whatever pain it can cause. Or for some people, it can cause loss of voice, okay? Now, the main kind of 4 guidelines, I'm talking generally, of course you can get more in depth to that, but the 4 main guidelines and important rules for Alexander technique is definitely the neck that should be free. Think about it. We have this head. It's weighed around, 8 pounds to even 15 pounds if you have a really big head, right? And it sits on this tiny little neck right here. There you go. That can cause already a lot of trouble. And this neck is not just hanging there, right? It's connected to our spine, which is connected to our whole body. So if right here we can create a nice balance where our head literally laying down and not causing extra pressure and just kind of float on top of our neck, this is already can resolve a lot of problems, okay? So first of all, have our neck free. Our head should be a little bit tented forward, not forcibly obviously, but just a little bit to create a balance. The third thing is we need to remember that our legs should be away from their hip joint, okay? It's also allows the torso to be in a more lengthened situation. That's very important as well. And our shoulders should be kind of out to the side and float, if that makes sense, okay? So with me, the guidelines that I always remember with me and my students, I always tell them, always remember to be long with your body, kind of, and wide, okay? Long and wide. And that's going to create that kind of sense of flowiness and not kind of be compressed like that, okay? So, I'm going to give you a little bit of tips how you can really actively start to rethink your singing using Alexander technique. So the way Alexander did it, he did the right way by self-observing. So definitely use that. Today, you don't have to have millions of mirrors. Today, you can just take your iPhone, take your phone, whatever you use, your smartphone, take your camera, put it, and just observe yourself, okay? Take a chair, sit on the edge of the chair, and just count 1 to 10 on one breath, okay? So sitting on the edge of the chair and counting 1 to 10 on one breath. And see what happens, okay? So when you're counting, make sure that you're not using a lot of air, right? that everything is on top of the air, so it's very fluent and has a direction, okay? Second thing, look what happens in between, where you're stopping, where you feel you're suffocating. Sometimes what happens, I find a lot of time with my students, when they're taking help and they stop a slight second before they exhale. And that slight second, they're already compressing any kind of a muscle in their throat or in the abdominal muscle, and that's it. And the sound that comes out is not already a free sound. It's already constructed by some kind of a muscle in the way, okay? So that could be very helpful. Second thing, also just breathing in and out. Keep it simple. See what happens, where the air goes, into your chest, into your back, into your stomach, where the air goes. Are you leaning back or are you leaning forward? Make sure that you always keep that balance. They never kind of going back or forward from your natural kind of balance situation in your body, okay? Second thing you can do also is just stand up from a chair and sitting down on the chair. That by itself shows a lot how you think and how your body is used to work, right? So always make sure that the head is leading you, right? That is not kind of forcible, but your head is leading you from up, and same thing down. Use your feet, use the floor to support you. All those things need to be addressed, obviously, okay? And obviously take that into your vocal exercises. Again, sitting down and observing yourself. You will be amazed how many things you can learn about yourself. Now, I tell this all the time to my students. You can go to millions of teachers, you can go to millions of coaches, but in the end of the day, you have to learn knowing yourself the best and be the best teacher you can be for yourself. And you have to develop this kind of self-observing. You have to know what works for you, what not works for you. And only the way you can do that just by knowing yourself, watching yourself. Take the time to really see what's the problem, okay? Obviously, if you want to go more in depth, definitely connect to your local Alexander Technique specialist, which I know there's a lot in New York, there's a lot in the United States, and a lot around the world. It's a really, really popular technique that not only singers use, musicians, dancers, athletes, everybody, and very famous ones, so you'll be surprised. So everybody can find something they can use not only in their singing, but also as a person, because in the end of the day, we cannot separate the person from the artist, the performer, right? The way you're gonna walk, the way you're gonna handle your body, that's the way you're gonna sing and perform. So you need to relearn and develop new habits to be a better person and a singer. So I hope I helped you guys with those little tips. Of course, I'm gonna link below more information and more kind of step-by-step what you should do and how you can practice that at home. And if you found this video helpful, I would love for you to thumbs it up, share, comment which tip you found helpful. What would you do? And please let me know, and I would love to see you in my next video, and have a wonderful musical day.